Before working with Yola, I was feeling not loved. I was feeling not really in a relationship where my partner considered me part of the team. It was something like we were in a relationship, we were, of course, living in the same place, but we were in two different planets, and we were not understanding each other. We were talking two different languages without understanding each other. So we were struggling to be in the relationship, to be in harmony, and to show our, love, but also something like a real partnership. After very few, very few meetings with Yola, I would say after the second one, I saw immediately difference in my relationship because my attitude changed completely. So actually the situation was the same, but I created the possibility of a new relationship with him. And so suddenly when I changed, he changed back. So when I met Yola, it was because I was looking for someone to help me to stay in the relationship, because if not, I was considering to split up. But when I met Yola, I asked her to make some meetings with him as well. And she literally said, believe me, you start by yourself and then we will see. So I started by myself only because I was waiting for her to invite him to be in the course. But suddenly I understood that it was about me. It was enough just to be in the course, just by myself, and everything changed for the better. And what I really want to say is that in November 1 year ago, I was struggling to stay in the relationship, and I was considering, as I said, to split up. This November, just the one we just passed, so a few months ago, yes, he proposed, and now we are engaged. So Yola made a huge difference. If you want to know how I feel now, I feel really cherished, loved. I feel in a relationship. And what really changed the most is that I feel that he trusts me. He trusts me. And for me is the biggest goal. Basically, we met 10 years ago. At the beginning, everything was absolutely perfect. And then we immediately decided to go to live together. And after 1 year, I had the first child. I got pregnant for the first child. We have 2 children now. So it was very fast. Everything went very fast, and we were happy with that. But of course, we created a family even before, knowing each other very well. So it was like a bet. And we win the bet. Now, after 10 years, I can assure he is the perfect person for myself. And in our relationship, I consider myself the butterfly and he is the big tree. So we can perfectly stay together because he needs me. He needs some colorful butterfly flying around him, and I need a big tree. So we are perfectly matched. Sometimes it's difficult because, as you know, a relationship cannot be perfect. And in fact, we come from different point of view, and sometimes it's different to understand each other. But with the tools I have now, I know that I can shift. I have the power to put the relationship in the direction that I want for myself. So I know now that I have the power. And this is the most important thing, because I know that I can share this with everybody else. And what I really want to say is that you can save your relationship if you just want to save it. It's not a miracle, it is something that can happen. If it happened to me, it can happen to you as well. I really want to share it So now I'm engaged and I'm going to get married in August. And this is a big deal for me because I have been married for 2 years when I was 29. Now I'm 43. And when I left the first time, I swore never, I will never be a wife again. So when I met my partner, my fiancé now, I was with him and I was happy with him, but I used to say, don't ask me for more because I'm not ready and I don't want to do it. I don't feel at ease to do it again because I had such a bad experience and it was so difficult to come out from that period that I don't want to even to go near that sort of situation. And this is why I used to say, don't ask me because I'm going to say no. When I was able to shift my relationship for the best, actually, I came for a problem and I came out from this course feeling so in love, so grateful for the relationship I was in, that during the course I was not aware that I was ready for that. So I shared what I was feeling with Yola and I said, I know now I'm ready to move forward. I still remember it was in January last year that I said, Yola, I feel I can move forward in our relationship. I don't want to stay in the middle. I'm ready to move forward. So basically, I didn't say a lot. I was just open to this. And sometimes I said, I'd like to get married. And he was skeptical. Also, he was afraid to to talk about it. So he was just look at me in a different way, but still ignore my sort of request. And then maybe this idea that was already in his mind, but he was not brave enough to ask, just become something of natural. And so one day he came to me and he proposed in a very normal situation. I was in the kitchen. I want to share it because it was not something huge in the sense of he didn't prepare, a big surprise, because he really wanted this thing to become something of something natural and simple, important but simple at the same time. So he came to me when I was in my kitchen and he proposed in a very romantic way. And I was completely shocked because of course I was not expecting something like that in that moment. So it was very, very emotional. I felt so cherished and so grateful for what was happening to me, what is happening to me right now, because we were already okay. We were already happy, but this really made me feel special because it's a choice. I feel chosen. So when we were with the kid during our lunch or dinner, but generally in that sort of a situation, and the children, I think they felt it because they started to ask why we were not married. And I used to say, yes, I'd like to get married, or I'd like to be a wife. And he used to say, a wife? I said, yes, but you have always said you don't want to be a wife again. I said, yes, but now I feel ready. One day, I used to say, yes, just in this way, in a very, very, how can I say, simple, also not attached to the result. Because that was my desire. It was a desire, but not something to force or to be forced. It was, I really want to share that I was ready. Whenever I was ready. I was just waiting for that. And it happened. What I really would like to say is that to trust that you can solve your problem and to believe that it's possible. You just go in the course, you listen the experience, you share your experience, and believe that it's possible. It's just that we are not ready. We go in the relationship, but nobody teach us how it goes and what we can do when something goes wrong. Okay, so we are ready to talk in English, we are ready to talk a million of languages or math or science or whatever, but we are not really for creating the relationship and stay in the relationship. So I think it is something like go in a course for relationship where you learn the tools, the skills, and then you can use them. And it's simple, because with all the experience that you share with other people, you understand that you are not alone. It's not only for you. I mean, all of us has different relationship, but sometimes the problems can be the same. So being in a group where other women like you can have the same sort of problem, just make you feel at ease sharing your problem. And once you share them and you understand that you can solve them using the skills, then you feel powerful, you feel strong, and then you use them, and they actually they work. The skills work. So it's so beautiful. It's
Wonderful.
something like a flower that blooms. Actually, just today I had a coffee with a friend of mine, and I asked her husband, who is evangelist priest, and I asked them to make our wedding. Okay, she said, I saw you growing as a relationship, as a family. So I feel honored to be part of this wedding and to have the possibility for my husband to celebrate the wedding. When I met her, it was September last year, and I was struggling, and she knows, because I shared with her all my problems, and she gave me hope, because she said everybody, all the couple I know, and I met many couples during our work in the church, we have up and down in the relationship. We all have up and down. Now you are in the down, but believe me, you will go up. And I just, I was trying to hope, but I was not really sure. Then I met Yola, and it became real. Thanks God. Because I was looking for a therapist, a couple therapist, and I realized only after that with a therapist I would go for sure for the decision of splitting up, because when you go there, then you only focused on problems. You talk about problems, and you go there to say to someone else, how bad is your husband? I would have done the same for sure. Instead, in this course, I focused myself, my attention, my energy on how lucky I was to be in this relationship, to have been able to create this family, to have the possibility to go just to meet him, because he's a great person. I chose him, and he's still that person. For a time, I forgot that he was the person I met and I chose 10 years ago. I was only focused myself on what was going wrong or different from what I was expecting. I was not focused on what was going on. I was just focused on what was not happening, what was missing. Instead, when I shift on, instead of being focused on what I was missing, I focused on what I had. And when I shift that way, everything changed, because he felt appreciated. He felt lucky as well. And I used to say thank you for whatever he was doing for us, for being present, for being there for me every night, every day. Instead of going out with other people, I said thank you for being such a good provider for us, and for being a good father to show my kids how it is to work every day, even when, you know, you would like to be in bed and you go and you have your company that you created. He's a big example for them, and I'm very proud of him. I can say to my children, he's always there. You can save your relationship if you just want to save it. It's not a miracle, it is something that can happen. If it happened to me, it can happen to you as well.